Just in, House conservatives are preparing impeachment could be final Monday by Teresa Monroe Hamilton for RWN official. House Freedom Caucus leaders Representatives Mark Meadows and Jim Jordan have been very busy lately concerning Mueller's witch hunt against President Trump over Russian collusion. We all saw the grueling and arrogant testimony of FBI agent Peter Strzok this week. 12 hours of non-stop, painful lying. His lover Lisa Page testified behind closed doors yesterday and will finish up Monday. So it is obvious that these two men have had a lot of unpleasantness on their plates. They have really been in there fighting for what is right and for Americans in general. Meadows and Jordan are preparing to impeach Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. According to three conservative Capitol Hill sources, good. Rosenstein came out yesterday with the indictments against 12 Russian GRU officials, which is all well and good, but it says a couple of things. First off, as Alan Dershowitz sagely actually pointed out, there was never a need for a special counsel in the first place, and the indictments prove that. Second, I question Rosenstein's timing of the announcement. He did it while President Trump was meeting with Queen Elizabeth, and just a couple of days before Trump has a summit with Putin. I'm sure this was to put pressure on Trump to call Putin out on his election meddling, which he should do. Well, I disagree with that, but this kind of heavy-handed pressure is inappropriate and disrespectful to President Trump. Evidently, Meadows and Jordan have been preparing to impeach Rosenstein for weeks over allegations that he's held up their investigation into FBI agents who some lawmakers say are biased against President Trump. Lisa Page ignored subpoenas for 7 months to testify. It turns out that the DOJ never notified her. Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows said on Friday afternoon it appears the DOJ is continuing their efforts to keep material facts and even witnesses from Congress. Meadows tweeted, "Remarkably, we learned new information today suggesting the DOJ had not notified Lisa Page of Congress's outstanding interview request for over 7 months now. The DOJ/FBI appear to be continuing their efforts to keep material facts and perhaps even witnesses from Congress." Former FBI lawyer Lisa Page arrives to face lawmakers over anti-Trump texts, Catherine Herridge reports. We'll take a look at that later. The impeachment document could be filed as soon as Monday, according to Politico. Ben Williamson, a spokesman for Meadows, declined to rule out if it would be filed next week. This news came down yesterday right after Rosenstein held his briefing to indict the 12 Russians for allegedly hacking the Democratic National Committee and who Putin will never turn over. It was symbolic. House Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows, in fact, had the impeachment document on the floor of the House at the very moment that Rosenstein spoke to reporters and TV cameras Friday. Republicans could also try to hold Rosenstein in contempt of Congress if they want to go a step further before impeachment. I am no fan of Rosenstein. I have not been one since the beginning. And I applaud this move by Meadows and Jordan. It is long overdue. After Jeff Sessions recused himself from the Russia probe, Rosenstein took over. He has done a horrific job as far as I'm concerned and should be replaced. As I understand it, Rosenstein is the only one with the legal authority to fire Mueller, and for all the world, he looks like he's in cahoots with the special counsel. You think? Republicans are going to get hit either way on this. If Rosenstein stays, the witch hunt against President Trump will continue unabated until the end of his first term and possibly the second one as well. That hamstrings many things the right is trying to accomplish, which is why the left is doing this in the first place. If Rosenstein is impeached, and he should be, the left will cry foul, and all heck will break loose in Congress. You ain't seen nothing yet. I say bring it on. Mark Meadows here. Remarkably, we learned new information today suggesting the DOJ had not notified Lisa Page of Congress's outstanding interview request for over 7 months now. The DOJ/FBI appear to be continuing their efforts to keep material facts and perhaps even witnesses from Congress. Rosenstein has clashed with House Republicans for months, with Rosenstein insisting that he's working to comply with the GOP's intensive demands for documents, some directly relevant to Mueller's ongoing probe. But somehow he never produces the documents needed. He's deliberately stalling, and Republicans have had just about enough of this crap. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte has made it abundantly clear that he doesn't consider Rosenstein out of the woods yet. He blames Rosenstein for limiting Strzok's ability to reveal details of his work as well. That's called obstruction. Rosenstein, who has oversight over the FBI and of the Mueller investigation, is where the buck stops, he said. Congress has been blocked today from conducting its constitutional oversight duty. There is little doubt in my mind that Rosenstein is corrupt and should be removed. Friday, Representative Mark Meadows hinted once again Rosenstein attempted to obstruct oversight. Rosenstein was defiant, smug, and laughed off lawmakers during a recent congressional hearing and refused to answer many of their questions. It's time to deal with him and put an end to this run around President Trump and his constitutional powers and presidential duty. And Rosenstein should be taken out, and let the Democrats scream foul. Show us any proof you have, or either put up or shut up. How about that, right? You know? Let's just take a quick listen at this.
Page, the woman, the other half of that duo, if you will, at the FBI sending those anti-Trump text messages. She's just arrived to meet with House lawmakers behind closed doors. She's gone back and forth about whether or not she'd do this. Under a subpoena, she would have had to. She defied a congressional subpoena to appear earlier this week, but now she has kept the meeting. This just one day after her lover, defiant Peter Strzok, faced off against House Republicans over those anti-Trump text messages that the two were exchanging, and whether their personal opinions influenced decision-making at the FBI. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge is live on Capitol Hill with the latest. So this is the day 2, part 2 of that couple.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, that's right here, and it's been pretty frantic in the last few minutes because Lisa Page has just arrived here at the Rayburn House office building. We were able to throw her a few questions. I asked her if she watched Agent Strzok's testimony yesterday. I asked her whether she had in any way coordinated her testimony with Strzok or his legal team. And I also asked her if she had any regrets, and she didn't answer any of those questions. And she basically just plowed right through the reporters to one of the back entrances. This comes after that 10 hours of testimony yesterday from Agent Strzok, her former colleague and lover. One of the highlights from last night was when Strzok discussed his termination by the Russia special counsel. He said that Robert Mueller asked very few questions. Let's listen.
Did Robert Mueller ever ask you if you were biased against Donald Trump?
He did not.
Was it clear to you that Mr. Mueller was aware of these incendiary text messages?
Yes.
So he knew of the text messages, but never asked you whether you were biased or not.
That's correct.
One of the big highlights from yesterday was Agent Strzok's explanation about that August 2016 text where he and Page discussed stopping then-candidate Trump. Strzok testified first that he couldn't remember the text and then later said It was driven by anger and what he described the belittling statements of candidate Trump that were targeted at a military family. But the timing is important here because that event with the Khan family was in late July of 2016, and Strzok did not write this text for about 8 days later. Let's listen.
The "will stop it," you were speaking on behalf of the American people. Is that correct? I don't recall writing that text. What I deny writing the text. What I can tell you is that text in no way suggested that I or the FBI would take any action to influence the candidacy of
Agent Strzok, that is a fantastic answer to a question nobody asked.
Another text that they had to address was this 2016 text where Page and Strzok had very disparaging comments for Trump supporters in Southern Virginia, where they talked about they had a smell. Let's listen to that exchange.
What does Trump support smell like, Mr. Strzok?
Sir, that's an expression of speech. I clearly wasn't smelling one thing or the other. What I meant by that was living in Northern Virginia, having traveled 100 and 150 miles south within the same state, I was struck by the extraordinary difference in the expression of political opinion and belief amongst the community there.
And you described that as smell in capital letters.
Sir, that was a quick choice of words.
Democrats ran a lot of interference throughout that 10-hour hearing and made the point, which is a very legitimate point, that if Agent Strzok was so filled with anti-Trump bias, if he wanted to derail the campaign, he could have got some of that information to the media, which did not happen. Let's hear that exchange.
If you had wanted to
This one's totally off the wall.
and interfere with the election of President Trump, you could have leaked information that the investigation was ongoing. But none of that came out.
Character assassination, demagoguery, connecting dots that aren't meant to be connected, generalizing from an isolated incident, cherry-picking facts, sometimes fabricating facts. It's astounding. It's a new low in the United States Congress. What a shame.
One of the reasons that Lisa Page is on Capitol Hill today for this closed-door deposition, so that's a transcribed interview, is that she was threatened with contempt. She had to either show up for the public testimony was struck yesterday or come today for a deposition, or they would initiate contempt proceedings. We anticipate she'll be inside several hours today and then back again Monday for a second session, Harris.
Do we know, Catherine, before I let you go, what the differences will be between today and Monday, or is it just a matter of having more time?
My sense from my discussions, Harris, is that it's really down to logistics and timing, because if you look at Agent Strzok's deposition, that went for 11 hours, 90 minutes was in a classified session, so it may just be a matter of timing.
I gotcha.
Well, don't you find it odd that Rosenstein didn't tell Page for 7 months? I mean, really? That alone should get him out. Forget about the real big problems, but that alone. Can you imagine that, you were supposed to testify and they don't tell you for 7 months? I mean, that's it. That's like totally incredible, unacceptable, unbelievable. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.